All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Proceed with Passion Live. I am your host, Terry Schilling, copywriter, copy coach, and also creative entrepreneur who likes to bring on fellow creative entrepreneurs and talented human beings to talk about their journey. What stops and lessons learned along the way got them to be where they are right now. And we also share practical and actionable advice to help others achieve the same. And today's guest, I know you guys can already see it, but I'm going to give an introduction anyway of who it is. She is the creative director, web designer, digital strategist of RKA Inc., digital marketing agency. I'm not done yet. She's also a business comedian and host of Awkward Marketing, fellow Chicagoan, fellow creative soul, and other talented human being, creative entrepreneur, everything else, founder of RKA Inc., like I said. And here we go, Rachael K. Albers. Welcome to the show.
Oh my God. Terry Schilling introduced me today, and it was the greatest thing to ever happen to me. That you could do that. You could do that on Cameo eventually, I think, Terry.
Oh
just
my
introduce people, make them sound good. Thank you.
Exactly. Wake up in the morning. I could have like an Alexa skill, like every Monday morning, just like wake up. Can I get my introduction? Can I get my walk-in theme? Oh,
this is the thing you can do. This is the thing. If you ever need to diversify your revenue streams.
Yes, absolutely. Rachael, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
You know what? I am what I am today. I feel like we've got to be real with each other. We're recording this in the middle of a pandemic. It's like, it's been 7 years now since it started. Yeah.
In COVID years, it's been about 7.5 right now, since March, since everything happened. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And I'll start with this question, Rachael. So in this hot mess of a year so far, what is the coolest thing that has happened to you in 2020? Besides that jacket, my God.
The coolest thing to happen to me in 2020, I hate to have to say it like this, but like being off the hook from even pretending that I wanted to do shit all year. That's been the coolest thing, I guess, if I'm being honest about it. Yeah. It's opened up a lot of emotional space.
Yeah.
To not even have to put on a show of being like, oh, Saturday, let's get together,
Yes. Yeah.
I've just been trying to lean into whatever positives I can find, Terry, and that is one of them. So, and I'm an extrovert that I've found that I've just been, it's nice to have been, and eventually we're going to have to get back to finding excuses to avoid each other instead of just having one big hall pass for the whole year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously being in Chicago, both of us growing up here, it's like there's not the birthday parties, bridal showers, all these things on the weekends that take up your whole weekend and playing around. And like you said, it's kind of, don't mean to be rude about it, but it is kind of nice. You have a little bit of more me time. If you have a significant other, there's some more, quality time there as well.
I guess now you're reminding me it's a blessing and a curse, Terry. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, welcome to the show. If you guys are catching this live, if you're watching the replay, I have Rachael K. Albers here with us today on Proceed with Passion Live. And Rachael, I want to go back a couple years, just a couple, right? Like about 2 or 3 when you were in college, right? And it's interesting.
I'm too young for you to make those old jokes.
We are not that far apart. I have a feeling because you graduated college in 2008, 2010, or let's get into this.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I don't want to misquote you, but from what I saw on LinkedIn, you went to Columbia College in Chicago for theater, arts, and marketing. But then you also went to DePaul University College of Law. So I ask you this, to start the decade of 2010, what the heck did Rachael K. Albers want to do with her life?
The decade of 2010, I had recently freshly moved to Chiapas, Mexico. I had just freshly left law school. And at the time I think what I realized was I wanted to serve a higher purpose. And I was drawn. So at this time I had just moved to do nonprofit work. Okay. And I was peeling away from the world of law. So the truth is, Terry, I didn't know. And my parents and the people in my life were very concerned for me. They were like, these are the marks of someone who's unstable. I was because I had hopped around from a few different passions. So I didn't know, Terry, I didn't know, but I had started my business at that point, and my business was how I funded running away to be I don't know what the hell I want to do, but I'll start a business to to bankroll me. And guess what? The business turned out to be the thing. I had no idea. The business I started like just to get me by. Like a lot of people like, oh, I want my business to fund my like amazing life overseas or whatever. No. I didn't care about that. I was like, no, I just like, or I want to like, that's my dream is the business. The business is the dream. Yeah. For me, it was not the dream. I was like, this business, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. What was the business?
It was what I'm doing now. Just like a really baby version of it. So it was copywriting, web design, messaging, digital creative, digital marketing. Yeah. But again, as I said, like in the early days, I did not care about it. I didn't care about growing a business. I didn't self-identify as a business owner. I more self-identified like as a writer and an artist than I did as like a marketing strategy, a digital strategy. Hell no to the no.
Yeah. Very informal. Well, what memory then is as everybody's saying now lives rent free in your brain, 4K high definition, Rachael. What memory is that where you made that transition to be like, you know what, I am going to make this a full-time thing because I enjoy doing it. How was that transition for you?
Ooh, the memory, the 4K memory.
I love the pause because this adds tension.
Deep breath as like, and segue too. I wish that we could have like our actor versions of us, like in a black and white memory. To kind of act out. I'm buying myself time because I have no idea what I'm about to say. I
get Bruno Mars to play me, and he'll
yes, of course. Duh, you get that every day. You're like a spitting image.
It's insane, Rachael. I mean, I almost got to say it. It's Terry, not Bruno.
That's another thing you could do on Cameo.
Yeah,
you're killing me, Terry. You're killing me, Terry. I don't think it actually came together for me that this was like that I had built my dream business until I came back to the States.
Okay.
I moved back to the States from Mexico in 2016. And when I transitioned then, and really started to like, that's when I kind of doubled down. It wasn't until then. Up until then, it was a means to an end in many ways. Why not? Who cares? It was not the thing in my life. There were other things that were the thing. And then then I moved back to the United States of America, and like a good capitalist, I made my work my identity. And now it's everything.
Like we do here in America.
I have a mortgage now, Terry. I have no choice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, what is one of your favorite projects then when you move back to the States, where it's just like, you know what, I'm loving this, and I'm gonna keep doing this.
I'll tell you what the 4K memory was. I had come back to the States. I had this really killer client out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, like a big restaurant brand. And I was doing all of these sites and brands for all, and I got to fly out to Santa Fe and have this like amazing, experience there. And while I was on the plane, I was listening to, I loathe to say it. I was listening to Gary Vee and he was yelling about like doing that one thing that only you can do, which I mean, like, listen, Gary Vee did not invent that idea at all. I don't know. It just happened to be Gary Vee was the messenger.
Hey, I tell you what, in that range for me, like that 2017 range, I got into that. And I'm not saying like it's like a fad, but it's like sometimes that voice just resonates with you. And like it still does for a lot of people.
You need that basketball coach with the whistle, you know?
And he kept it real, like his swearing, like some people roll their eyes now, but it's like, I know tons of people who still listen to Gary.
His voice has matured, actually. I have to tell you, Gary Vee is almost like he's a shtick of himself. But what I'll say is that's when I kind of leaned into bringing comedy and turning awkward marketing into like a sketch comedy show. Yeah. When I thought to myself, you know what? I am a weirdo and I do all these characters and I have this comedy theater background. That's what I want to bring into my business. That was the momentary when the business became not just a business, but like part of how I artistically express myself. So that's when I think I went all in, when Gary Vee convinced me to become a business comedian.
Yeah, I love that. Focus kind of on that niche. And then I feel like it's just like you're putting yourself out there. There's your personality. And people are just like, I want to work with this. I want this type of, personality infused in my marketing. It just seemed like, was it easy for you to align with clients because you were just completely, yourself and awkward marketing out there?
It's opened some new doors because what awkward marketing represents is like me becoming visible in my business. Because up until that point, let's say I started the business in 2009, up until I really started awkward marketing, which started in 2017, but I was working on this in 2016. Up until then, I was the behind the scenes referral based, web studio that did not that people came to us because we came highly recommended, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started my own show and started to walk my talk in terms of what I taught my clients and helped them do with their marketing.
Yeah.
Wasn't until I started to model what we talked about behind the scenes that I started to attract a different caliber of client. Then it was a client where I never had to niche down. I kind of had like a niches choose me in many ways just because of word of mouth, but I never had to niche down. I niche down based on people who want to be bold and build bold brands, right? And that only happened when I started creating bold marketing, right? Up until then, it was just like a little tiny behind the scenes. And I did a ton of business. I made a ton of money with absolutely no marketing.
Yeah.
So then this just did was help me choose better and be more selective about who I wanted to work with, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Now I want to get into a question here about the web design copywriting side of things, because as a fellow copywriter, when you're working with clients, or just, if somebody comes onto your streets and recognizes you, Rachael, and be like, hey, I need quick help with my website copy, because that happens all the time to us, right? So my question is, what are your best tips for writing your unique value proposition on your website? Or if you have another way of saying UVP, because obviously that's the, suit and tie technical term, I guess. What would you say?
So when people come to me, one thing I do off the cuff is I'll do like a 5-minute website audit, and I'll just like look at their website and especially their homepage and kind of go up and down in a few seconds. And then, and I'm looking for 5 key things, not just like in a sentence, but to be answered on this homepage.
Okay.
And that's the who, the what, the why, the wow, and the how. Who do they serve, right? Who are they talking to right now? Like that's the who. A lot of people think the who is them. Like, hey, my name is Jenny and I'm a coach. Nope, it's not. So who do they serve? Who are they talking to on this website? Who is the website talking to, right?
Oh, man. Dude, I feel bad. I have like 10 Jennies who are coaches in this group. This is going to be so embarrassing.
Do you, Jenny?
I'm just kidding.
They're going to be like, oh my God, Terry, I really feel seen.
Yeah.
Who do you serve? What problem do you solve, or aspiration do you help me achieve? Right? One of those or both of those. Doesn't have to be a pain point always. Right? Why are you the best company or the person for the job? What's the wow result you deliver, right? Like, wow. And how the hell do I get started? What's my next step? How do I buy? How do I start? Where do I go next? That's what I'm looking for above the fold, like in a hero statement on a website, as well as just like answered in the whole experience. And as long as you cover that, you've covered everything important. So that's how I help people get to the UVP, is through making sure that those questions are being answered. And it's going to look different for every business depending on what they do and who their audience is and what their tone is. So I don't templatize it much more than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. What's the biggest facepalm when you look at a website for 5 minutes?
When there's no clear, what do I do next? Either because there's too many things going on, there's too many buttons, there's too many distractions, or because you've given me all of this and then you're like, but where do I go though? What do I do though? What do you want from me? When that's not clear, I'm like, what am I here for? I mean, my visit there still serves a purpose. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I am like, what the hell? That's a missed opportunity if I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great answer there. And everybody who's just joining us live on Proceed with Passion, welcome. And everybody checking out the replay, hello again. We got Rachael K. Albers here. Just heard a little bit about her origin story, about moving to Mexico after college and having a business that started, and it led her to live her life out there. And then she moved to the States in 2016, where her business really took off because she started putting herself out there from a personal branding side. And she just shared some website copywriting tips and how she approaches work with clients. So thank you for that, Rachael. And I want to get into the personal branding side here. So what is your best advice for creative service providers to monetize their brand? Because it seems like you took that next step. And some people, I will just add on to this, and even myself included, we do all this client work, right? But how can we transition then to really scale of maybe selling courses, digital products? Yeah. I know I just threw a lot at you, and some of it may have stick and some of it just whizzed past you, but do your best to answer that. I'm trying to get better at just more concrete questions. It's like, come on, Terry.
You know what? I like to feel like the energy of the universe of the question, right? It really opens so many doors. Like this is a conversation at 10:20 a.m. We're going there, but
yeah, for sure.
You know what I would say is this, is that creative service providers and really small micro businesses, boutique businesses, don't realize that one of their biggest assets is the humanity of their brand, right? Like the personalness of the fact that like a person or a specific group of people really do run this company. That, I think there's this misconception in the small business world that everybody should be looking bigger than they are. We should all look like if we've got a 5-person team, like me, I've got a really tiny boutique team, right? Yeah. I should look like I've got 20. And if I've got 20, I should look like I have 50. And if I've got 50, I should look like I have a couple hundred, right? Mm-hmm. We all want to look bigger than we. That's why in our copy, we often say we when it's just me. It's just actually me, Terry Schilling over here. But I'm going to say it's me and us. It's us. It's we. So what I would say is actually the we-ness of big brands is their biggest weakness, the we-ness of it, because then they have to do, that's why we've studied for years the process of like creating a brand personality for a giant corporation or company, because there isn't actually a humanity behind it, right? Yeah. Or the CEO shouldn't really be in front. For tiny micro businesses, we do have people literally right there behind the curtain. And so I think like monetizing your personal brand, it's really just about using your humanness, which is your biggest asset, and leaning into that instead of trying to hide it, because people want to buy from people these days, right? We're sick of Tony the Tiger in many ways. Yeah. Sorry, Tony, but your days, we're like, we get it. Like, we know, we're like, Tony, you're manipulating me. Tony Tiger's the narcissist is going to be like the next expose.
Oh my gosh.
Tony the Tiger's been like screwing with people. I don't know. He like doesn't pay a living wage to people. Like this is what's coming out next,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to then go to your brand right now and share some of the recent photos that you've been doing on Instagram and LinkedIn, and just like dissect these a little bit, because I think they're incredible. Dissect a little bit. Oh, I know. Dissect is such like maybe just a weird word. Donating them to science here. Yeah, but I'm going to your Instagram page here real quick.
Are you doing this? Are you going there or me? What?
I'm going there. Sorry, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right. I'm like, let's just make sure that this works.
Ooh, look at this. It's fancy. Yes.
Look at this. Yes. This Bosch Bish launch in a box. Just like tell me what should I know when I see this? Like why did you decide to approach it this way?
I was going to say, if I have to tell you that I've done a bad job, I'm sorry. We got to reapproach the creative here. This part of my brand, this is a snapshot from my personal brand. Yeah. Where I do a lot, my show and a lot of the ways that I teach and talk about business, marketing, etc., is through characters. So the vision of this character was to kind of bring out and embody. We have a really clear understanding of what the snake oil salesman looks like as a man. Yes. Either he's like a used car salesman, or he's got a comb over, or he's like the sales guy at your door. He's the bro marketer with a Lamborghini. Yeah. We don't have as many touch points for our snake oil saleswomen. So this is meant to be an embodiment of that, of the
Yeah, I see it
all of the things. Whatever you see in this, is the truth. Probably, right?
I love this, the little cactus plant here. It's just like
a succulent, or cactus, whatever you want it to be.
Yes. Now, this one has the. I love the post, the Cinderella approach here, but tell us a little bit more about this one.
This actually comes from the other brand.
Okay.
So if you scroll a couple, like go to the right, actually, if you go to the right, I'll show you where this comes from. You're going to have to go.
Am I going the right way?
Yeah, I think you are. Keep going. Dave, we're having fun. We're just scrolling through my Instagram. This is all of my Instagram ever wanted was validation. Oops, go back to the left. One more to the left. Wait, not this one. There we go. There she is.
There she is.
So that's actually the shot from my homepage of my agency site for our done for you branding, web design, messaging services, creative direction services. And so this comes from this whole idea, which is, I mean, a nod to the fact that like when you're working with my agency, you're still buying into RKA. This is the RKA way. This is the idea of like everything being under one roof, right? And us being able to consult with you on all of these different things. And yet it's me in all of those pictures, right?
Yeah.
So still, because I'm a micro business, and the reality is it's still me at the helm of the ship.
Yeah.
And when, so that's it.
Yeah. Awesome. I wanted to get a little bit more. Yeah. I love those. I wanted to get a little bit more context of those.
So nice.
I think they're so great. Oh, thank you so much. Now, just this question comes to me because a lot of people are, really shy about putting themselves out there with their brand, even as a freelance service. What's one thing people can do today to add more personality and more of like you, as in like me, that sounds weird, but like into their marketing, like that more personality, more personal brand side?
I think that we have this tendency, we've been like abused by the educational system because like part of us like will never shake that, like the way we learned how to like write persuasive essays where we're like, I have to have an intro and then I got to have my 3 points and then I got to conclude. Yeah. So there's parts of us that are still like, we've been taught how to write by academia or by, all these things. So that's number one. Yeah. Is that to let go of all of that stuff. Like for me, I went to law school, so I'll find myself sometimes writing an Instagram caption, dissecting it from the perspective of if I was writing a legal brief, I couldn't use this. And I'm like, dude, get that out of there. This has nothing to do with it. The more human, casual language you can use, the stuff that like ending a sentence in a preposition, for example, like your 8th grade English teacher would freak out. But that's how people talk. I think that's probably like where I would start is just like people, like I said, we want to, for our small businesses, we also often assign a we to everything. Get rid of the we when it's really you, just me, I. Yeah. And secondary, don't try to like put a business suit on your language, right? Like loosen up the tie, take the tie off, and write like you would be almost texting a friend. Like you're not going to swear. You're going to use proper grammar to a degree, but use what's the word? Contractions, like, all that kind of stuff. Just like write like a person. Yeah. That's where I would start.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And that's great advice. And one thing that I'm like starting to do more is like, I say something and then if I feel like in my head, just to like, if there's like a maybe eye roll moment that I feel like the person reading it could be like, okay, Terry, what do we say? Like, I'll put that in parentheses and like kind of like answer that objection or that weirdness and just like add context. And I just think that's, it's just a fun
little detail, little fun. I like it.
Yeah. And it just adds that more personality side to it. But I don't want to make this about me, of course. But,
make it about you, Terry. You got to put tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah. Take off that suit and tie, put on your rainbow sequin jacket and live your life and get out there.
And live your life.
Right. Now, Rachael, what is on your online selling donezo list?
What do you mean? Like I'm over it? I'm done with it?
Yeah. Stop it. Like stop doing this. It's donezo now. Like don't do it.
I mean, anything where you're using a Lamborghini as a flex, I would put that on the list.
Like I was going to name names, but there's some people out there who
know who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
We know who they are. I mean, now that's like it's kind of I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to say is Dunzo is coming up on being Dunzo is making fun of Lamborghinis when in marketing. I think that's over. I'm like, guys, we need to be a little bit more up to date. It's kind of like making fun of UGG boots. Like, let's stop making fun of those because people aren't actually wearing them anymore. Lamborghinis were a little bit like 2015 or something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm kidding. But I'll go with that.
Yeah. I know people are just trying to sell the lifestyle side of things of like making so much money online. Like, look how much I made.
People are still going to do that. They just have to they're going to do it differently these days. You know?
Absolutely. One kind of pet peeve for me is like, I see this on Twitter a lot. And just people like bash other social platforms. Like they talk about getting all the LinkedIn messages and it's like, hey, I just deleted my Facebook and feel great. And I just, I'm with LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it's just like, what's your goal here? Like you just want people to like pat you on the back. There's tons of people who value in these platforms. I just don't get the whole shitting on like, I just deleted my Facebook account and feel great. I don't know. What are your thoughts for that? Are you? Oh
my God, I love it. I have an episode of Awkward Marketing about this, which is basically this whole idea of like the sky is falling, like we're going down, Mayday, Mayday, we're going down.
Yeah.
And it's like you're fighting the wrong monster here, dude. You're not going to win this battle. I don't know what, like you said, I like to say complaining is boring. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Instead of taking up space telling me that you just deleted Facebook, like take up space telling me something cool on whatever platform you're on instead. Like, I don't know. Like,
like get some value. It's like, what value does that bring to me by like knowing that you got
That's like a private DM conversation. I feel like sometimes like the public complaining, it's like, take it to your DMs, dude. Like, cause that's like, I think a legit thing to complain to your best friend about, or like your work bestie, to be like, oh, I'm sick of the LinkedIn algorithm. Like, I'm done, but like, it makes me think, like, is that really how you want me to remember your brand? Is that you're angrily ranting about Mark Zuckerberg? Come on. I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, exactly. Well, Rachael, got a couple more questions for you. Everybody who's still tuning in, thank you for watching us live. And if you have any questions or comments for Rachael or myself, please feel free to, leave them in the comments or just say hi. But Rachael, I want to get into more of like the, systems that you have in place for your business. But start with, what is your morning routine like?
Morning routine. I got a 2.5-year-old, so things are a little bit on topsy-turvy in that way.
Especially during pandemic, yeah.
Yeah. If I'm doing my best work, I'm getting up super early, because those early hours, like getting up at 4:30 so that I can ease into my day and start my day writing and creating content. Because like using that early morning energy. But let's be real. In my real life, Terry, I'm using those early hours to like barely make a deadline, because I'm always like at the finish line. So that's what I like. 20% of the time, I'm like sipping my coffee and writing my book, right? Writing my morning pages. But like 80% of the time, I'm rushing to meet a deadline, hoping I can get it all done for the day. Like all the shit. That's my morning routine is barely keeping up. You know, that's
barely keeping up is my morning routine.
Crying myself in the shower is my morning. My morning routine involves sobbing. And
telling my husband to get the child, writing a book. Dude, that's so funny. Yeah. I'm just so interested because some people have it down to a T, but obviously things get in the way. Life happens.
I'm not a chiseled morning routine person. I will get there, mate. By the time I'm 50 or something, I'll be able to gloat and make other people feel bad because they somehow haven't managed to. Because that's what people with really good morning routines do. Have you ever noticed like morning routine people are really into rubbing it in your face and like scolding you if you don't have one? They'll be like, girl, I just want you to know it's going to change your life. I'm like, I know, I get it. I'm 36 years old, Terry. Okay. I get that a morning routine would probably serve me. There's probably personal reasons why I haven't instituted one. Get off my lawn. Like
it's like, Rachel, just wake up 15 minutes early. Oh, is that it? that's gonna solve everything. Oh man.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing, you know what? I'm doing my best.
Yeah, of course. What are some things that have saved you time and money in your business?
Things that have said, you know what? I'll tell you what is actually creating my own signature system.
Okay.
People will often ask me like what tools I use or whatever. And for me, the answer isn't important. What matters is what the tools are serving, right? Yeah. So in terms of like RKA Inc., my agency, where we do big rebrands with people that span their business design all the way into their marketing strategy and their messaging, into their website and their visual language, all of those things. I had to create a system and a process and my own kind of signature container for that.
Yeah.
And once I had that, oh my gosh, everything else, because every other decision then is in service to our process, right? So once the process is chiseled, it really makes it clear what tools we should use, how we should schedule, how to scale, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's been the biggest gift I gave myself was creating that kind of container for how we work with our clients.
Yeah. Awesome. We got Brittany Crossan who just joined us. I recognize that jacket. Hey,
Brittany!
Brittany's awesome. She's a big supporter of the Proceed with Passion Live. Love Brittany. Hello. All right, Rachael, last 2-part question, my favorite part of the show, because I love hearing these answers. Are you more a burrito or pizza person? I feel like
pizza.
Okay, I had a feeling.
Soul.
Yeah.
I wear it. It's all here, baby.
It'd be just so funny. Morning pizza. Big slice. Just right now, you have a slice for breakfast.
Wouldn't it be? I'm deeply disappointed in myself that I don't have that ready. Terry, there's got to be a next time for that moment.
There will be. But I asked that because since you're a pizza person then, Rachael, if you had to build a success pizza, what are the 3 key ingredients to build it? So characteristics.
I would say number 1, compassion.
Okay.
Number 2, creativity. Number 3, do I have another C word in me? Do I have another C word in me? Okay. To review, compassion, creativity, and I want to be like core strength, abs. It's really abs. I just want the 3rd C. And I would just say persistence and determination. That's it. But that's 2. But we're putting them together in a little sandwich, sprinkling them on top.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, you could say consistency.
There you go, Terry. That's why you're the copywriter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Why compassion? I mean,
why not?
I know, why not? I know. It's like, why the hell would you say compassion? But like, why is that important to you?
Well, obviously, because it's all going to depend on your definition of success, right? So for me, success is defined by living my values and creating a business container that allows me to live my values and create a better world, right? So compassion is, I mean, we need it. It's our lifeblood, right? People who struggle in business, often there is a lack of compassion for the self, for the consumer, for your employees and team members. So yeah, compassion is the answer. I mean, that's like my ingredient for everything. Like if you said like you could only take one thing onto a deserted island, I would say compassion. It's going to carry me through. It's going to help me find the answer in any situation, Yeah, absolutely. So there we go.
And then you bring compassion. And then what album are you bringing if you could have for your iPhone to listen to?
I'm going to bring Joni Mitchell's Greatest Hits.
Ooh, awesome.
It's poetry.
Yeah, the whole Glee soundtrack, seasons 1 through 7.
That feels like it's cheating.
Yeah, that is. Oh my gosh, Rachel, I love it. Your success pizza sounds delicious. All your answers, all your time, all your energy today was incredible. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today. And before we go, and guys, we're going to do Whose Tagline Is It Anyway with Rachel. I'm going to bring Liz on here, so stick around. That's going to be super fun. Yes. But Rachel, tell everybody where they can find you across the internet.
I was going to say, you can find me like hiding behind the tree in your backyard. Surprise.
Yeah.
You can find me Rachael K. Albers. That's spelled with an AEL. RachelKAlbers.com. All across the internet, you'll find me like peeping around every social media corner that way. Just look me up. Yeah. And we'll have a ball. And go to awkwardmarketing.com if you want to find my business comedy sketch.
Yes.
Hilarity. That's in the eye of the beholder. You can decide if it's hilarious or not. Yeah. I'll let you be the judge.
When's the next video dropping for that?
What good question, Terry. We'll let that be in the show notes.
Put you on the spot. It's like, Terry, my Wi-Fi's busted. Bye. See ya. Just like you freeze. What a great freeze frame there with your microphone hanging from the heavens wire. Just going there. That was actually a good pause.
I was gonna let you sing me out, but I just thought I don't know. I doubted my instincts there.
Yeah. Well, Rachel, thanks again, everybody who's watching and watching the replay. Thank you so much for joining us on Proceed with Passion Live. We will see you on the next episode. And again, stay tuned for Whose Tagline Is It Anyway with Rachael and I. Rachel, thanks again. Everybody, take care.